out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark. The bite, Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
And good morning. How are you here on a Wednesday? Oh, no, you don't need to hear it again. Hope you're well wherever you might be. We've gotten to the middle part of the week. Henry, the Hump-Day Campbell, says hello. He's excited. He is excited. What is going on, Stephen? What is going on, Proctor? Good morning. Okay, Cookie, please, everyone, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Keon Brown joins us coming up, and that will be at 6:30. His days are dwindling now before he goes back to class. Steve Ragsdale, Marty Smith scheduled to join us in hour number 2. Marty and Rags. And then Damian Sordelette joins us coming up at 8 o'clock. And we'll see if he's heard anything, early rumblings out of Virginia Tech's practices and all those things. And we welcome you in. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room, as many of you do all the time, 155 Walters Drive. Mark is sensational. And on the Professional Door Incorporated text line. That's the two ways to directly contact us during the show. 40 years in business, 674-0008. I hope everybody took advantage of contacting them in the month of July to get $40 off your preventative maintenance visit. If you didn't, well, you missed out. You missed out. What's up, Master Bricks? Good to see you. Good morning. Welcome, everybody who's checking in. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Please take the time to subscribe. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, and they will be back for year two. We're excited because they were our first sponsor, so it's kind of cool to see them grow and as we grow. 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green. You can email them, familyfencingnrv.com. I know several of you have utilized them, called, so that's great. Heard from so many of our great sponsors that have gotten immediate response from being on the program. BDST is presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. People still talking about the jet ski weekend. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller. Thanks for Jonathan for coming on the show on Monday. That was great. Little River Heating and Air, located at 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Let them take care of your heating and air units. That's why they're Little River Heating and Air. Our BDST fan question of the week is brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Thanks to him. He'll be back as well for a year two of the question. And we're asking who's going to play in the Natty? Who's going to play in the College Football National Championship game? Ohio State continues to get a lot of love as one of those teams. Yesterday we got Notre Dame playing them a couple of times. I got a Alabama, another Georgia, a couple Miamis. What was one that was kind of weird but kind of made some sense? No, I'll have to look it up and see. But anyway, thank you. Keep the votes coming. This is going to be a good one. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly and this program. And National Bank will continue to support our program here in year two that gets underway August the 11th. Been with them for over 35 years. Again, I had to refinance a bunch of stuff that kind of took me by surprise and things I had to take on that I didn't know about. I went down to the Radford branch and they made it very painless. And then about 2 days later, okay, you're all done. What? Really? Always greeted with a smile. Every time I go in. Now that's because, I have that personality too. But no, they're great. Trust me, if you need a new bank, if you're thinking about it, go to National Bank. ReadySetFund.com, BobChrist11@gmail. Series of text messages, how you can get your sports team, like Floyd County softball, whatever it might be, church group, school group, earn money quickly, very, very quickly. Yes, do that. Do that. I do, Tuxie. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, Tuxie. Sundown Electric. The Smith Brothers, one of the best reputations, long list of satisfied clients. We'll have info how you can get one of their t-shirts because people have asked. It's been cool. 5-star reviews down in Elliston, thanks to Jeff and the family. Great, great business. NRV Super Bowl, who housed us on the BDST Bash, 382-5525. Leagues are forming now, men's, women's, mixed leagues, and for kids. Reach out to Terry and Amanda. And Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street. James has done it since 1997. 540-381-8011, parts for your home and all that good stuff. So hit up all of our sponsors, won't you? Hope to have some new ones coming on here. That's right, you are from New Zealand. I remember that. All right, so we're going to look at this here. Let me get the screen how I need it here because, takes a little while to make sure things are working. With the rain last night, things were funky with the internet. So there you go. There's your top 25 coaches poll that came out yesterday. Ohio State in Oregon, 1 and 2. Now, this audience has been well ahead of that because several of the responses I've gotten on the national championship game have included Ohio State and Oregon. But two Big Ten teams right off the bat. Georgia 3, Texas, again getting a lot of preseason love. Here we go. Texas always seems to get that. Notre Dame at number 5. Many people think Notre Dame and Oklahoma are going to have the two best defenses in the country. And there's Indiana, the defending national champion, coming in at number 6. The first of 3 ACC teams. Miami at 7. A&M at 8. There's Oklahoma at 9. I believe their best preseason ranking since Venables has been there. Ole Miss at 10. We'll see about that. There's Alabama at 11. The Red Raiders still getting some love at 12 despite their quarterback situation. Lane Kiffin and the LSU Bayou Bengals at 13. USC gets a lot of love. They got a lot of money, so they bought a lot of players, but they're not very well coached. They are number 14. BYU at 15. Michigan, despite the troubles, they ended up landing a superior coach, and they've got a lot of talent at number 16. The Penn State Nittany Lions show up at 17. How about that? Matt Campbell. Credit to the portal talent that he was able to bring in, getting a late start as their search seemed to last a long time. And how about Penn State showing up in the top 20? Tennessee at 18. Vol fan will soon tell me they're going to win the Natty. The Washington Huskies at 19. SMU at 20. Houston at 21. Iowa at 22. Clemson at 23. Houston at 24. And then Mizzou at 25. So there's your top 25. What are some of your thoughts as you look at that? It is what it is. It's a preseason poll. It's great fodder for this time of year for us to talk about. I agree with you, Low Country. That's why he's still in here. And I know it's a low ranking in terms of the top 25. You're in the bottom, but I'm still surprised that Clemson is showing up here after last year, and they're trending in the wrong direction. I don't know if that's just the coach's poll respecting Dabo. I don't know if that's just brand recognition. That one surprised me as well. So let's do the body count here. So the SEC has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the top 25. Big Ten has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 to 7 in terms of that. So 16 of the top 25 taken up by the Big Ten and the SEC. Teams, Miami, SMU, and Clemson. And then you have Houston. Utah in the Big 12. Just Utah, sorry. Utah at number 21. I skipped over a minute ago. So Texas Tech, Utah, is that the only two top Big 12 teams, or Houston? You got three Big 12 teams. So there you have it. Your thoughts? From Palm Coast drop-off here at the Continental Shelf to Blacksburg and James Franklin's robust perception of himself. Please, BDST people, don't be larger than yourself. BDST is alive. Well done, Morris. Hey, one day, Morris getting good at that wordsmithing. So there it is. Your first polling. Give you some kind of vibe about what people are expecting this year. Not surprised to see Ohio State getting the love, right? In any way, shape, or form. The usual suspects, right? I mentioned maybe Penn State's a bit of a surprise. And Clemson. Those two kind of surprised me a little bit. Both of those. But really, this is the kind of thing out of the two leagues. Yeah, Coach Elmo just said, might as well just put the same list up here. Yeah, exactly. Indiana 6. Did I miss one? Low Country? I probably did. Let me recount. You see, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana's 3. Who did I miss? I'm sure you're right. Michigan's 4, Tennessee's 5, Washington, and Iowa's 7. Who did I miss? That one. Yeah, BYU, Big 12, BYU, Texas Tech, Houston, and Utah. That's 4. Ah, you're right, USC. I keep thinking Pac-12. So, yeah. Good catch, Low Country. Thank you. So 9 SEC, 8 Big 10, 4 Big 12, right? That's 21. I'm missing somebody. And Notre Dame, the independent, and then the 3 ACC teams. So there you go. So the scoreboard is 9, 8, 4, 3, and then Notre Dame. But again, what's great about this is it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. Because you see it and you talk about it and it's going to be talked about a lot. But this is just polling. This is just polling. What's up, David? David Ross on the text line. It feels like, Rick, that these polls mean less and less every year because how can anybody evaluate the teams? Well, I get that. I understand that. 100%. I don't know. In some ways, as Phil Still was talking about, I kind of think maybe it's a little easier. Only because of, I think, the assessment of talent. If someone's paying attention, you can look at portal talent a little more easily. Because you're basing portal talent off of guys, that you may have watched play at a different level. And the PFF that Coach Grantham talks about a lot is on pure display. So they get to know a little bit more about these guys than maybe they used to. So maybe, I understand your thought, Dave. You might be right. But maybe now, because of, if you look at specific portal transfers, you saw what they did. They're ranked in the PFF, and that's what the coaches are using because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Morris says, throw them in the middle. Let's see what they got. Just win, baby. Yeah. Just got to win. Just got to win. So there's your top 25. What does it mean? Likely nothing. And if we, let me know, by the way, if we get any kind of issues with our intraweb. If you see anything that looks funny on your end, please let me know. I may have to reboot the thing. Because I think the rain, we got heavy rain here last night. There's puddles out here in the driveway, on the back porch. So I'm not going to complain about the rain. We need it. We need it. But if we have some issues with things that you're seeing as you watch, just let me know. Hit me up. Hit me up. Okay. Just let him go. Yeah, hit me up. Just let me know. Let me know. All right. There we go. There we go. How in the world is Clemson in there? Mike says on the text line. I don't know. That one's probably more of a surprise to me than Penn State. Maybe Penn State being 17. But their schedule, I don't know how much thought goes into it. These are polls. Who knows? Moore says they told Bear Bryant's widow after his death to move to Blacksburg. They wanted him as far away from college football as she could get. Really? Did they really do that? A lot of ties to from Bear Bryant to Blacksburg. Frank Mosley was a Bear Bryant disciple. who was the coach at Virginia Tech, the old practice field was named after Coach Mosley. I don't know if that's still the case or not. All the changes. Don't know. I don't know. There's not really any bulletin board material in there, anything like that for anybody. Maybe Signetti can figure out, some way to use that as an advantage. I don't know. Maybe. No, I didn't see that till just now. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Somebody sent me Angel Reese's comments from last night. The WNBA is just continuing to proceed as a how not to have any kind of success whatsoever. She got fact checked here she was on there last night after a game saying that they didn't have dolls that looked like her because they were all white. So she brings race into it. Then they show a correction from X that says Barbies that were non-white have existed since the 1960s. I don't believe we need to give that league any attention. What's up, Adam? Hello. Please subscribe. Yeah, he did, didn't he, Morris? Yeah. Gary Claiborne, Sharp. Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about Jimmy Sharp, man. Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for stopping by. That was my era. Jerry Claiborne. Very cool. Very cool. The Bear Bryant tree to Blacksburg. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, man. You're welcome anytime. First marriage was tied to the Mosley family. I was married to the granddaughter of Frank Mosley. So I got to know a lot about that history pretty quickly. There's some great photos that they had of Coach Mosley and Bear Bryant, Coach Bryant. It's great. It was awesome. Just awesome. No, I think I have an ex Spicy. Yeah, I do. Yeah. As far as I know, I haven't missed it. But when that happens, I'll be first to let you know, Spicy. Keon's going to join us here in a little bit. Find out what he's doing. And we'll be ready to rock and roll. And then Coach Rags and Marty scheduled to join us. So we're looking forward to that. Isn't that a rap reference at him? Am I right about that? That number? Is that correct? We had our media day yesterday. We start to have our media days consist of getting all the pictures done with our teams, and they go down and do some funny shots and some brief interviews. See there? Am I hip or what? Look at that. I see, even I knew that. And it's because of the young people at Radford I work with that I know about that. But our women's soccer team yesterday, such good young people. Yesterday and this week, I think our men's soccer team and then volleyball the rest of the week, this week, getting their media day. It's the kind of thing that I get pretty down, to be honest, about college athletics when you work in a department and you know the challenges that are just so significant for places like ours. And then you meet the young ladies yesterday and you start talking to them and they're getting all, they're getting made up. Because these are their glamour shots with their uniforms on and they're excited. And they were talking about how much fun they were having in media. And, you need that from time to time. You need that little boost of adrenaline. That's the reason you're there, And Women's soccer is always good. They've won 11 championships. They've been to 11 NCAA tournaments. So get to meet some of the men's team today, hung out with some of the men's basketball players. It's a group this year that, by the way, we're not going to have any problem getting them on. I know last year it was a strange reaction to the request, but now we're going to have full access. So we're going to have those guys on as we get closer to the season. Different vibe in terms of the kind of people involved surrounding the program. So we'll get to know those players. So it was kind of an uplifting day there at work yesterday, hanging around the younger people because they're just out doing their thing. I mean, they were getting all dolled up for their glamour shots, right? And then as soon as they were done, boom, they're hitting the practice field. So it's good stuff. Keon Brown joins us on the program, and Keon, he's got that serious, oh no, we're closer to school starting look going. Good morning, brother. How are you?
This ain't no we're closer to school starting. School started. I'm back. That's why I look like this.
You've already started.
Yeah,
that's
teachers
right.
Are back. Teachers came back Monday. And they're wasting our time. I've been teaching for a decade now, pretty much, and every back to school week, welcome week, it's the same thing. I'm going to go crazy. It's the same thing. Here are the 10 new teachers. Great. Good for you. Welcome.
Welcome. Can't wait to see you.
Go to your room and set up for the next 4 days. It's high school. Nobody sets up their classroom in high school. Let's have a meeting on how to deal with angry students. Just write them up. You should be leading the meeting. You should be leading the meeting. Sometimes I do because that's my job. But I just sit in the back and listen to everyone give everyone else bad advice. But when you listen to the bad advice and they take the bad advice and they do it, it creates entertainment for the school year. So I'm just going to shut
up. So when does class start for you guys?
Start next Wednesday.
Wow.
But the freshmen come next Tuesday. So you'll see these freshmen who are so scared of the big high school coming Tuesday. But tonight is open house. And open house is when the freshmen can come to the school, walk around for an hour, meet their teachers. And open house is going to be extremely packed this year because the county that I'm in redistricted and rezoned every street in the county. So kids who used to go to X high school is now going to another high school, or Y high school is going to another school. But my school has the most transfers out of any school in the county. We have about 2,500 new kids coming. So see a lot of kids. Yeah, how big is your high school? How many students? It's huge. Right, with the new numbers, I have no idea, but we have the biggest high school in the county. I don't know because students are still enrolling. So while we're having our back to school week for the teachers, you see a long line of kids still enrolling throughout the day, and the line never ends.
Is it 2,000 more? Is it more than?
It's 2,500 more, plus the kids that are registering. So I'll let you know a hard number by Monday because we'll know pretty much then.
And the biggest school now around here is Blacksburg High School that I know about, and it's like 1,400, something like that.
We're way bigger than that.
At least here in the New River Valley. So
yeah, we're way bigger than that.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Well, you sent me something that was really troubling, and I read the story, and I don't know if I've ever seen something like that. And I don't know what's more appalling, the coach or the administration for just nodding their head and letting it happen, because you have a new basketball coach at BC who apparently just wanted everything cleaned out his way. So he fired the longtime radio duo that's very popular, that's had to deal with all those losing seasons. They've been nothing but positive and supportive of the players and the university. And because he wanted them out, the school fired them.
It's ridiculous. It's the most disheartening story I think I've heard all summer. It's literally ridiculous. Like, I want every stench of the losing that has been going on in this program out.
Yes.
So you fired two of the most loyal guys there who has nothing to do with basketball. And by the way, the name of your school is still Boston College. People understand.
That's right.
the basketball, quote unquote, history of that school. You haven't been good since Tyrese Rice was there. And
That's
that was
right.
the early 2000s with Jared Dudley.
That's true. Been a
Like,
long time.
What are you talking about? Everybody understands the reputation that comes with the Boston College brand of calling it basketball, if you want to call it that. It's been nothing. We understand that. But you firing every single nook and cranny of anyone who's been a part of it in the years is going to do nothing for you. I promise you it won't. Because people are still going to see Boston College on their schedule, especially when it comes to conference play, and say that is the game we are going to win.
Luke Murray.
Luke, that's Bill Murray's son.
Is it really?
Yes, that's Bill Murray's son.
So Bill Murray's son came in and fired the announcers.
Yes.
One of the announcers
Bill Murray,
fired.
the actor's son. Yeah, absolutely. Ghostbusters. That's him.
I didn't even know he was a coach. Where did he come from? Where the hell did he?
He was at UConn.
Oh, so he learned from.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think Coach Hurley would do anything like that. Especially Coach Hurley was at a Wagner, right? Coaching at a Wagner. He understands. Like that is it's so disheartening, that story. It is so disheartening. And I'm glad that story is getting legs. The million
I am too.
Plus
It's
views. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's showing up in the papers too, the New York papers. It's showing up Boston Globe. The announcer said, "Look, we tried to reach out to him several times, and he just kept saying that it wasn't a good day. He was doing this, he was doing that, and then this comes out last week, and then the school supports it, which I don't know what. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because these guys were very popular with the fans, very popular with the previous coaches, and he's coming in and." The school is supporting this, and I would think there's got to be a lawsuit in there.
I hope it is.
I would think there would have to be some kind of situation where you got to look at the legality. There's no wrongdoing here. There's
no wrongdoing. You're pretty much saying why you were fired is just because I want the old stench out of what the history of the program was before I got here. It's not going anywhere. I promise you. And the rumor is his dad, who we talking about, Bill Murray, has some play-by-play experience. People thinking since he's on the other side of his career as an actor, he might be coming in. But now, this story blowing up the way that it's blowing up, if you do that, that is an awful look.
It's an awful look.
That's an awful look.
Yeah, Prometheus, the only reason he gave us says he wants everybody out of there who was there before he got there. Yeah. He said it's a losing mentality. So you're blaming the mentality on the announcers.
Yeah, like they had anything to do with the on-court product. It was nothing.
I've never heard of this. This is the first time this has happened. I've heard of coaches going places and then maybe they don't get along with the broadcaster,
Yeah.
Justin Fuente at first didn't make a lot of friends in Blacksburg, but he never demanded that anybody be fired.
That's ridiculous. And I hope I hope he's seeing the response to this, and he's making some internal reflection on himself. I just hope that's what he's doing, because there's just some things that just aren't acceptable, and this is one of them.
Well, really fans are upset. They've started an email campaign. I saw that. Players are wondering what's going on. I mean, I don't know. We always talk about lack of self-awareness. You coming in and you're just making it your way or the highway. Kind of sounds familiar, but not to that degree. Have we seen it? I don't know, man.
You mean the change of the program next year? You're going to have a whole new program. It's college basketball. It's college athletics in 2026. Those guys on your roster right now won't be there next year.
Will be gone, right? So then, what are you going to do? Fire everybody again?
What are we doing?
So now I want them to lose every game.
That's what the world pretty much wants them to do now.
I want him to have a terrible, terrible rebuilding project, and I hope he loses every game.
And it sucks because you being who you are and who your dad is, people would have supported you had this story not come out.
Correct.
You don't understand the snap of a finger how things are flipped.
Correct. And you're already built right.
Tournament where UConn was coaching, they highlighted Bill Murray in the stands in the every game.
I know.
Every game.
And nothing from Bill Murray. Is that means that he supports this? I don't know. The dudes they've been there for what? How long had it been? 13 years?
Yeah, over a decade.
Over a decade. Very popular. I listen to some of their calls. They're very good.
Yeah,
what
good.
they do. Very good.
So good to get hired for other games around, the country on Westwood One.
And then to find out on Monday, so now they have no time to get a job anywhere to look for a job.
And it's tough to get a job. It's tough. At any point of the year, pretty much, especially, come on, man. I mean,
there's got to be a correction here, right? There's got to be.
There needs to be.
I mean, where's the administration's comments? Where's the AD? Where's the president?
The administration put out a statement acting like it was their doing, even after the quotes came out. Like, get off of them, come on us, Don't talk about coach. It wasn't anything on him. It was all
all us, right. Yeah. Coach says that's just insecurity. It is. It's a coach coming in who it's very insecure vibe.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, when you do things like that, deep down, you come across all domineering, and I know how to do things. You don't. But really, it's a sign of insecurity.
Yeah, it is.
Immense insecurity.
They have not 1 ounce of anything to do with the on-court product. That is all you. That is all you, buddy. They won't affect anything in any way, I promise you. They won't affect recruiting. They won't affect your offense. They won't affect your defensive schemes. They won't affect who you hire on the coaching staff, the type of players, the type of humans that you have around your program. That's all on you.
If anything, the broadcasters can be utilized to go out and talk to players.
Yes.
And, that's what Coach Chu asked me to do that last week. On Friday, I addressed the team for about 15 minutes about different topics, about Radford, about what we offer. And they were very engaged, and I appreciated the opportunity, and I appreciated being asked. And then this story comes out, you're thinking, wow, it's unbelievable how some people try to manage things and then expect to have success.
Yes. And what you can do, you also can utilize them and say, I've been here the X amount of years. There hasn't been much success, but you guys can change that. Just like the Knicks did with James Dolan before the playoffs started. They said what they said about him. They say he was the worst owner in sports. Now they won a championship. He used that to try to motivate those guys before the playoffs started, and it worked.
It did.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, now they got an X on their back for the wrong reasons.
Right. And I want to see what happens. He's going to get back in town at some point, and I guess somebody's going to ask him. Yeah. Again, he can't run out media members that work at other places, right? He doesn't have that kind of control. So somebody needs to ask that question.
Yeah. And that media community is tight-knit. Like, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm sure they know a lot of people. They're going to get asked those questions. And I hope nobody shies away from him, because you shouldn't. Don't be scared of him. He's not going to do anything to you.
No.
That's why I'm so confident when I get on there. I say what I want to say. Nobody's going to do anything to me.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Nothing.
And this guy's clearly just a coward. I mean, he's just whatever he is. Yeah. And what kind of a message does that send your team and your players, fans, everybody you're trying to support? What is it? I mean, you're already, like you said, you're BC basketball. Know your place.
Yeah. It's not like you were at when you were at Louisville and you were there before, Pat Kelsey got there, and you got that stretch. It's like, we're trying to bring this thing back up. No, you were never good.
You were never good. I guess they had some good teams in the early 90s. They had
Tyrese Rice. Tyrese Rice is a Richmond guy.
Yeah.
He needs to have his jersey retired. Him and Jared Dudley was a great duo.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
It's
always be a great person for our viewers.
Correct.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard to be nice to people, is it?
And to do it right.
You're right. You're right. It's like when I always talk about National Bank. When I go to the bank, they immediately greet you with the genuine, hey, Harry, smile. And when you're in there, you're thinking, this is the way it's supposed to be, right? You don't want to go in and somebody, what are you doing?
Yeah. You want to go just Chick-fil-A and Mission Barbecue has the best customer service. That's I love going.
Chick-fil-A is it's unreal. It's unreal.
I don't know if you ever been to Mission Barbecue, but they rival Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
sure.
they catered the wedding, and
Okay.
they came. You're right. They were very professional, very polite,
Yep.
very polite. Yeah, yeah. They were awesome. They were awesome.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't know, man. It's gross. It's gross.
It is. It's so disappointing.
And I was looking into it after you sent me that. I was preoccupied the rest of the day trying to find more information on it. Like, what? This is ridiculous, man. Because I don't know those guys, but since they do, they're us, right? They're me and you. So then it kind of hits home a little bit. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Imagine if James Franklin would have come to Blacksburg and, him basically dictating all these changes. What if he just said he wanted Roth and Burnham out?
Oh, gosh.
How do you think that would have gone over?
It wouldn't have gone over.
Right? Can you imagine? And I know these guys haven't been there as long, but they were very well received by the fans and by the administration before that.
Yes.
So the administration saying it was their decision?
Pretty much.
Oh,
I'll send you the quote later.
That's just
pretty much
just gutless. Just gutless. Well, we do know you'll be back on the Longwood broadcast, right? Both of you guys will be back, right?
I'm not sure too much about Sam because he took that new job at Lynchburg.
I heard he's going to do some stuff.
He'll be at some games.
Yeah,
some games.
But you're back, so that's all.
I'm just waiting for the schedule to drop, just like everybody else, though.
Well,
they're overseas right now.
Well,
yeah.
What are we
waiting on? I'm waiting on BCU schedule. I'm waiting on Radford schedule. I'm waiting on Longwood schedule. I'm waiting on UVA schedule.
I can update you on Radford. They had a school drop. They had a school drop out 2 days ago.
All right. Well, all right. Good. I'll buy you time.
Elon dropped out. Elon got out of that game, and there was a lot of back and forth for several weeks. So that's official. So now they're looking for a replacement, and it might even end up being a road game.
Okay.
So I do know that. So we're still kind of waiting on that. This is not actually on Radford. This is us trying to figure out. Okay. We got an empty
squeeze in a Commonwealth school if it's on the road.
That's my thought process.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's going to be tough to get a home game at this point. You don't want to play any more non-D1s.
Yep.
You already got 3 of them. That's too many anyway.
Yeah.
Should never be any more than 2.
Yeah, for the past few years we've been on par with 3.
Ever.
Yeah, come on, somebody. George Mason. Haven't played Mason in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Haven't played Richmond in a while. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting there, though. I think we're about 90 days away from the tip-off.
It's hard to believe. Yeah, we're at the start of kickoff for football, and then before you know it, you're midway through football, and all of a sudden you realize it's basketball media day.
Yeah, preseason starts tomorrow in the NFL.
I know, at the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you excited to watch Carson Beck in his NFL debut?
I am. It's always something when you get that first football.
I know, and I know it's a preseason game, and a couple years ago I attended the Hall of Fame game when I was up there watching the Randy induction, and it's a great vibe. It's a great the excitement's there. I write about it this week in the Patriot. There's just that aura around it, so it'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Yeah,
to see football.
That first taste, like yesterday, I was watching Hard Knocks. I love Hard Knocks. I love it. I've never missed a season. It was in.
Who is it this year?
Seattle.
Okay.
The first time they've had a Super Bowl champion since the Ravens. I think the initial year.
Really?
Yeah. It's really good.
So this is their follow-up camp. They're going to be on now. They're on now, like the season after they won the title. Okay.
Yes. The first episode was yesterday. Came on last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's good. I'm seeing more and more push for the Redskins name coming back. What do you think? You think that's going to happen?
It needs to come back.
I know.
It was taken away ridiculously at the wrong time. It was just that time when the trend was to try to find anything wrong with anything and try to correct it. That's all that was.
Well, and you had two.
You have folks who call themselves Redskins saying, no, we want the name back. What are we doing?
I know. The group that it's supposed to be offending is the biggest proponent to bring the name back.
Exactly.
Make it make sense.
Surely it's coming. We got the uniforms this year. It's not on the helmet yet, but they do have a helmet with the arrow on it. So it's close. We're getting there. And it was one of the best. You can make the argument that Redskins logo, that emblem, was one of the best in sports.
100%.
It's beautiful. It just is.
For the reverence that it also paid Native American people.
Yes.
Right?
It's classic and clean. That's what it is.
Well, you had
been in my lifetime. The uniform and the logo was something I was proud of. Guys, one NFC Championship appearance in my life.
Like, well, somebody else. Yeah, it's true. It's true. That was 2
years ago.
Well, and the thing about it is, you have all these things that pop up. People say, "Did we lose Keon?" Let's see here. KB, you still with us? Let me see.
Yeah,
I don't know where
you hear me?
Keon went. See if we can get Keon back here. Yeah, we got you. Okay.
Yeah.
We got you. We had a little moment there.
Okay.
Anyway, everybody says there he is. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. You had like you see like the why did this happen at these two places? And only two places it happened was Washington and Cleveland with the Indians, right?
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs stayed, the Braves stayed, Florida State. Well, the Seminole Nation is a big investor in Florida State football.
Florida State is no different. That logo is pretty much has the same grandma as the Redskins on. Look at the logos.
It does.
Look at it. The same thing.
It is. It is. And I was a kid growing up, and I never looked at it one time as being anything. I didn't have to have anybody tell me. I always saw it as a tribute.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never looked at it as being anything else, as a derogatory nature. I mean, I never did, because I always thought, oh, that's cool that they're representing the first Americans, right? Yeah. All the teams that did that, to me, I was like, I thought that was really cool, to be honest with you. And then you have one section of people that decided it was offensive, that it didn't represent at all.
Yep. And the people that had a problem with it aren't even talking about it now. They don't care anymore. It was a trend at the time, and now that was 8 years ago, whatever the case was, and now they're on to the next thing.
They're on to the next thing. That's a great point.
They just wanted.
That's a great point. And the league is they're so politically drawn. Goodell, they're not gonna. I mean, the only way they would cave is if somehow that Indian nation, to make sure they made enough noise about it, then they would then they might cave. But I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
But it's the worst rebrand this side of the Washington Wizards that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. But at least the Washington.
Am I right?
No, you can say that. Yeah. You can argue that for sure. It was bad. it was bad.
Or the Utah Jazz, like.
Yeah. But they didn't have Utah basketball team or the Washington basketball team. It was the Washington football team for a while. People forgot about that. That was the name of it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Team.
Yeah.
I
don't know, my friend. They tell us humans are the smartest thing in the galaxy. I don't know. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there's got to be some other species out there, right? I'm not sure we're in anymore.
I guarantee you revitalize that fan base again. I guarantee you.
100%. 100%. It would be the most popular. The merch sales would be number one in the league, just like that.
Yeah, because as soon as they announced the old school Super Bowl era jerseys, that's what they call them, they sold out in the snap of a finger.
I know. But anyway. Well, it's good to see you. I hope open house goes well for you.
Yeah, it'll go well. We'll see. We'll see. I'll be there all night.
But when you meet the Radford dudes, you're gonna like them. They're good dudes.
Okay, I like that.
They're good dudes. They're good dudes.
I love to hear that. That's great news.
Yeah, they're good dudes. All right, brother. You hang.
You'll get now. You just don't
I know. Yeah, from that standpoint, I don't know. Yeah. But I will tell you that when I got finished talking to them,
Yeah.
they all stood up and clapped, and then they wanted to do like a little break, a hand break,
Okay.
and they did that on their own, and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So yeah.
All right.
All right, brother, you take care of yourself, and
All right,
we'll
buddy.
talk again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let me know if you see Spider-Man.
I got you.
All right, be good. Take care. Keon Brown joining us on the program. Keon's been movie guy. Just want to see if he sees Spider-Man. Yeah, same thing. Exactly, Brian. 100% Prometheus. Let's just say it the way it is. Sorry. When there's proof to back it, making the statement that's obvious like that, right? If people get offended. Sorry. That's exactly the issue. Without any reasoning, without any kind of substance behind it. It's destroyed a lot of the legacy of the franchise. You're not doing anything. You're not advancing anything. I mean, and the NFL finds itself in a situation to where it's not going to want to do anything, right? Because, oh, God forbid we do anything right. We don't want to upset the political powers. And I don't know all the ins and outs. The Indians' name was more generic, but the Redskins' name specifically positioned itself with a certain tribe, and it had over 1.5 million signatures, right, to bring it back. And aren't you, in a way, dictating those who are such a proponent to get rid of the name and kept claiming how offensive it was? Isn't it more offensive to take away a legacy, a representation of the legacy of being the group of first Americans represented by a professional franchise in the most popular sport in this country? Isn't that more offensive than what political posturing you were trying to get across? And I think that's been the response of a lot of these folks that are representing the base, to be honest with you. But in any event, we'll see. Seems to be a new story about it every week. So I don't know if it's gaining momentum or not. But it would be one thing if there was a loud voice of Native Americans, and maybe at one time there were, I don't know, but everything I've seen is that they're very upset that it was taken away. And when it was threatened down at Florida State, the Seminole Nation itself stepped up and said, no, you don't understand anything. Stay out of our business. I mean, you do realize the people, not you, you know this, but the people who are against all this, you do realize that when they bring out the Native American with the spear, that he is representing the tribe by choice. He's chosen to go out to do that, right? You do understand that, right? No, they don't understand. That's the answer to the question. They do not. They do not. Trying to hook up Coach Rags here. It's like he's having problems with his camera. Don't know what is happening. So maybe we can get that fixed here in just a second. Yeah, I agree, Low Country. I think you're right. Trying to work on getting Coach Rags on here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Let me send another invite. I'll send one to each. But then again, I told you, it's been kind of funky in here today. It's all because of the I guess the weather here. All right. Sending Coach Rags another one there. I might send him another one too here. Momentum on having Greg Olson replace Romo. Is that happening, Wayne? Is that I have not seen that. Is that something that they're looking at? It feels like to me Romo will not be back. Feels like that's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know where coach's stuff is not showing up. And I don't understand why. That's a mistake. Reboot. Y'all hang on. And y'all talk. Oh, there's Coach. Hang on. Now we're going to get him. There he is. Hey, yeah, Coach. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I got something that I did what I normally do, and I got something SteamYard or something popped up, and I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Did you connect with the new one I sent? I sent another one.
No,
or did you
I just went out and clicked on the first one you sent me again and just went through the process again. I mean, I don't know what I did, but same thing I've always done. I don't know why.
Well, that's okay. We got you, and that's really all that matters is that we got you, and we've got that guy too. There he is.
Oh,
what's up, Marty?
Man. As long as you've got that one, it doesn't matter about me.
Quite the contrary.
How you doing, Marty?
I'm excellent, gentlemen. How you guys doing today? Good morning. I hope you've had a great summer. Coach, what you been up to this summer?
Hey, man, I've been to, I've been under a lot of machines this summer. So I've been I don't know. You mind me talking about this, Rick? Just a second.
Not at all. I was gonna. If you, I know you kind of wanted to, Coach, and I haven't mentioned any of it. So yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to just a little bit for the benefit of anybody listening. I've been diagnosed this summer with prostate cancer. Okay, and if you do a little reading on prostate cancer. It goes like this. If you live long enough, you're going to get prostate cancer. Basically, it's just a matter of time, when it occurs. All right. And there are no symptoms to it. That's the big problem, or one of the big problems. I didn't feel any different when I got diagnosed than I did before. I don't feel any different right now, and I'm undergoing treatment than I did before. In fact, I went out yesterday after getting a treatment and mowed a little section of my lawn out there. And so it's not something that I'll wait until something starts happening. I have trouble urinating or something like that. Here's what you need to do. I'm telling you, there's only one test that I know of that is a kind of a red flag. It's not totally 100% determines that you've got prostate cancer, but it's a red flag. I've got an older brother, 10 years older than I am, and he had his prostate removed 10 years ago, totally removed. He doesn't have a prostate anymore. All right. Now that affects his lifestyle, but he's still living. And that's better than the alternative. And he's perfectly happy with his condition as is right now. All right. But because of him, I started about 10 years ago getting what's called a PSA, those three letters, PSA. Okay. And I did that because of my older brother getting prostate cancer. That is a blood test that you can go to any doctor and get I get a physical every year and have for years. All right. I'm 75 years old right now. And when I get a physical, I get a blood test as part of that physical that tests, what's going on in your blood. Okay. All kind of different things. All right. But it doesn't test PSA unless you ask it to be done. So when I go to get my yearly physical to my family doctor, I ask him, and I explain why, because my older brother had prostate cancer. I want to get a PSA done. Okay. And that's just a simple blood test. Doesn't hurt. You don't get it done right there. They just take your blood and send it off to the lab, and then you get the results back. Okay. Well, my results and gradually over time, your PSA will normally increase. That's just part of the aging process. Okay. But the upper limit beyond which it's a red flag is when it goes past 4.0. Well, my brother's was like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 or something like that. But mine was like 4.2 something. Okay. So my doctor sent me to a urology group that's affiliated with Carilion Clinic over in Christiansburg. So I saw a urologist. Okay. And she said, okay, let's just wait. Let's wait a month and take that PSA test again. Okay, so we waited a month, took another PSA test. It had actually gone down to 4.02, just above 4, the upper limit. All right, she said, well, we can do one of two things. We can just kind of wait and watch it, or take an MR or do an MRI. That's magnetic resonance imaging. Okay, doesn't hurt, doesn't anything. They just put you lay you down on a table and in this machine, and it scans you. Okay. So to me, that was just like a no-brainer. All right. Hey, yeah, let's get the MRI. I got an MRI that showed a lesion, which is a fancy word for, something there in your prostate is going on. Okay. But that's not a determining factor. That the MRI does not determine whether or not you've got prostate cancer. It only says whether or not there's something odd going on here, something that doesn't look right. To make the definitive analysis and diagnosis, you have to undergo what's called a biopsy. All right. Well, a biopsy of your prostate doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Okay. And it's the only way you can determine for sure whether or not you've got prostate cancer. Okay. And what they do, I went over to Radford to the Carilion New River Valley hospital over there, and they did a biopsy on me. And without getting into too much detail, they put you under general anesthesia. All right. In other words, they put you to sleep so you don't feel anything. And it's a simple thing. They do it in about 20 minutes, and then you're back conscious, and you go home the same day, and so on. All right, so I got that, and then when the results came back, it says, hey, you got cancer, all right, in your prostate. Well, prostate is one of 3 cancers that is the most curable cancer, okay? Prostate, thyroid, and I'm not sure what the third, I can't remember what the third one is. It might be testicular, which used to be a death sentence. All right, back when I was a youngster, if you got testicular cancer, you were going to die from it. But that's not the case now. All right. So anyway, I went and so then one step led to another, and you got to take, I don't know. I ended up taking a couple more tests to show whether, and one of them showed whether or not the cancer had spread or whether it was still limited to the prostate. All right, and of course the key to cancer is determining it early. Ex-Virginia Tech quarterback who coached the Tampa Bay, whatever they're called down there. Oh, shoot. What's his name? I thought of his name this morning. He has an advertisement that he has on TV. Bruce Arians. Okay. All right. That I don't recall what the cancer was that they detected, but he emphasized to you, go to the doctor and get the test done. All right. And that's what I'm saying right now. Go to your doctor, ask for a PSA test. All right. Do yourself a big favor. It doesn't hurt. And right now I'm undergoing, I'll say this finally and then I'll shut up. All right. There are essentially 2. And remember, I said, if you live long enough, you're going to get prostate cancer. And there's basically 2 treatments for it. One is what my brother did, take out the entire prostate. Okay. The other one is radiation. All right. They're both have about the same success rate, and that's about a 90% success rate. Okay. So I'm getting the radiation treatments right now. That doesn't hurt. My God, it's easy. I go I go down to Roanoke to get it. You can also get it over at Pulaski at the Lewis Gale Hospital over there. But I've got a daughter down in Roanoke and a couple other things. But I decided to go to Roanoke. It's an easy drive anymore, about an hour and 10 minutes for me. All right, and so you go in. They lay you down on a table. Get you in the proper position so that the machine will direct the radiation to the prostate where they want it to go. All right. But they get you lined up and all this is computerized. My God, this machine is, I bet a darn thing probably cost $1 million. I don't know, but they lay you down, get you, and in 10 minutes, at the most 15 minutes, you're finished. You're up walking out of the building, and it doesn't hurt. You don't even feel it. You just lay there and lay perfectly still, and this machine circles you, like this, and then back like that, and it's scanning you, and then it kind of jerks around a little bit, and I assume that's it's getting lined up to send the radiation to the proper place. 10 minutes, 15 at the absolute most, you're walking out of the building. The only hard part I might add, though, however, is they want you to have a full bladder, but an empty rectum. Now, that's a hard combination to come up with. Now, to get one empty and the other one full, man, that's like moving in opposite directions, okay? But and they don't want your bladder totally full; they just want it uncomfortably full, okay? So, but do yourself a favor and go get a PSA test, okay? And I might add to that, get a colonoscopy. I've been getting one since I was 50 years old. All right. And you get it about every 5 years. All right. And that's kind of like the biopsy. They put you to sleep. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. You walk out of the hospital and then you get the results. So anyway, I'll quit talking. Okay. We can talk sports now.
Good advice, smart dog, right?
So, well, first of all, I'm glad that you did detect it early, Coach. I'm glad that you've been so proactive in your treatment, just your general treatment throughout the years. That is really important. It's important to make sure that you do annual physicals, that you listen to your body. And most of us, especially men, we're so hard-headed about listening to our bodies and what they're telling us. And so I hate to learn of your diagnosis, but I'm grateful that you have great spirit and that it was detected early so that you can manage it properly.
Let me add this, Marty. I'm a health nut. People don't realize that, okay? But I'm a health nut. And that I'm very fortunate in that my mother died from breast cancer, but she lived a good 20 to 25 years after she had a total mastectomy done on one breast, okay? All right. And she had a sister who married a doctor who was a cardiologist. And I grew up going to see, his name is Dick Newton. He's deceased now. He lived in Roanoke, he and his family. And his brother, by the way, played football for Merrill Gaynor down at Patrick Henry on some of their better teams. But I was fortunate that I every year, even as a teenager and college student and right on through, I went to see my uncle by marriage to get a physical examination. Okay. And way back when, he put me on a low fat, low cholesterol diet because he was a heart specialist. All right. And so I like I said, I'm kind of a health nut because I'm going to tell you, once you lose your health, buddy, it ain't much fun. No. All right. So take care of your health. That's the number one thing. And I've been very fortunate during my lifetime. I never even anticipated having prostate cancer, but that's it. Like I said, if you live long enough, and I've been fortunate to live 75 years and been pretty darn healthy doing it. So I'm thankful. So that's it. Take care of your health.
I think I've gotten that PSA reading every year. I mean, with, the physicians, they'll go through your family history and they'll make determinations based on that, your family medical history, how they want to operate with your blood testing and what exactly they test. And I was ignorant to it, but going way back to like turning 40 years old, which for me was 10 years ago, they started doing the PSA level. And I'm really grateful for that. And so, it's nothing but a blood test. There's no lubes. There's no nothing. It's just you get your blood run and then.
Well, even on the test that they do lube you up, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but it ain't pleasant, Austin.
It's not fun though. Yeah,
I've had that a bunch of times, man. Oh man, but I really believe this. I've always felt this way. Yeah, we all kind of tend to, particularly when we're young, take health for granted, and mistreat our bodies, maybe knowingly, maybe non-knowingly, but hey, we're young and everything like that. But I've always thought about this, and I'm thoroughly convinced what you do in your 20s and 30s and 40s adds up and starts showing up in your 50s and 60s, okay, and on above. All right. So don't think that, oh, well, I can do this and I can do that, and I'm young and I feel good and so on and so forth. It's not going to hurt me. I can give it up later on and I'll be just fine. That, in my opinion, that's not the case. Don't damage your body when you're young. Take care of it. All right, I'm going to shut up. This is the third time I've said that. And we can talk something else.
No, man, just honestly, glad that it's treatable, Coach. Glad that you are under good care and have this kind of spirit about you. It's a when regardless, even if you look at it and go, oh man, I got a 90% chance of being just fine, and my doctors are telling me I'm going to be fine. When you hear that word, it's still a bit of a shock to the system, regardless of what the prognosis may be. So I'm glad that you're good, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
A lot of hard-headed dudes out there that need to hear that message, and especially
the problem is, Marty, the problem is they really don't know. They don't know. Prostate cancer is not something you hear a lot about. You hear lung cancer and different types but prostate cancer, you just don't hear anything about it. And there's not any. Well, the PSA test is very easy, but even that doesn't say definitively whether you've got it or you don't have it. It's just a red flag that's waving in front of you. Hey, we may need to do a little something extra now to look at you. But I mean, and guys running around in their 20s and 30s, they ain't thinking about their prostate gland. They don't even know they got a prostate gland.
I'm 50 and it's not something I think about.
And I still don't know exactly what it does. I just know it's there and that's it. So anyway.
Hey, high school football practice just started, and I want to go from player to coach here. What was it like, Mark Dog? The countdown, Harrisburg, getting ready for the start of camp, and what the first week was like for you guys under that guy in the middle of the screen, Coach Ragsdale.
It was. I'll just start with the emotion, and I can only speak for me. I can't speak for my friends. I can't speak for my friends. There was a ton of anxiety for me, ton of anxiety, because you know that you're going into this arena with a bunch of dadgum cage dogs and great players of great skill, and you're in my particular context, you're a guy that just wants to try to get to the field. You really hope that the chessboard unfolds in a way where you get a chance to play. And so you go in and, man, you got, like, I think about my junior year, this time of year, you're running out there, you're in little old booty shorts, you're in a T-shirt and a helmet, and you're running around, and you got Matt McGuire over here and Mike Moser over there and Melvin Williams over there and Stevie freaking Steele over there. And those are guys that were a year older than us. And just great players, right? And then there's that weird, for me, again, I can only speak for me. I don't know if any of the other guys thought this way, but I looked at it in this massive 30,000 foot view of, holy bleep, this is Giles Spartan football.
Yeah.
And you knew that, you knew that there were going to be old men standing on the sidelines from the second we started, up there on the hill at practice, checking out to see who's got what. And then as it progressed, and we got into pads, Coach will tell you, it was not for the faint of heart. It was not for the meek. Run it again. Run it again. But man, the excitement was the best part. It was just, you knew you were part of something big. You knew that you had a chance. And every year I was in high school, we had great teams, great teams. And so we knew we had a chance to do really special things if we just executed properly. We were in a very, very difficult league back then. The Mountain Empire District was loaded.
Yeah, it was.
And so, but dang, it was just incredible feeling that I cherished then, and even more so now in retrospect, how special it was.
Coach, what was the plan? Yeah. Take us through week one.
Well, I'm gonna go back to January, okay? And then I coached football. I was a head football coach and basketball coach for 10 years, or roughly 10 years, because I started as the head basketball coach and the 8th grade football coach. All right, which was kind of customary back in that day and time. The head basketball coach was usually the JV football coach. That's just the way it was in this territory. Okay, which was good. I loved that. All right. And I had a lot of kids. I coached 8th grade for 3 years, and we had 3 darn good teams. And then I coached those same kids a few years later on the varsity. And so I kind of knew what I had coming along. And but every year in the wintertime, after I got out of basketball, after I was no longer coaching basketball, I would always read a book by a famous coach or about a famous coach, Vince Lombardi. I've read every book I can get a hold of in my coaching career on Vince Lombardi. But it doesn't stop there. Bear Bryant, Bill Walsh. I was just sitting down with Coach Kelly and a coach, Ryan Martin, who was from down around Martinsville, who's now a head coach up in Washington, D.C. at a private school there. He played at Virginia Tech. And the 3 of us were sitting around Coach Kelly. Coach Kelly was our line coach and our special teams coach. And so we were sitting around the kitchen table in Coach Kelly's house just this past Saturday talking football. All right. And Ricky Cook, who was one of our outstanding tailbacks in a line of outstanding tailbacks, joined us about halfway through. So we're sitting around there talking football. All right. But anyway, I spent in the wintertime, I'd always read a book about some, you name him, I've read it, perhaps. All right. And then in the spring, when the weather started turning good and I get out and start mowing my lawn and everything, I'm thinking the whole time I'm pushing that mower. I don't have a riding mower. All right. It's leg propelled, not propelled. All right. And that's on purpose. So it gives me good exercise. Okay. But while I'm mowing back then, I was thinking about the upcoming fall. All right. And in particular, who's going to play where? All right. Okay. Then as we got into summer in June, that was off season. I don't want to see you in the weight room. We're not going to be in the weight room. I'm not going to be in the weight room. None of the other coaches are going to be in the weight room. And by the way, in the off season, winter and spring, I wanted our football players to be doing something. And you can play basketball like Marty did, and that's great. Heck, that's good for you. Or in the spring, you can play baseball like Marty did. Marty played 3 sports. All right. And so I wanted them doing something. Okay. Now, if they weren't playing another sport, then in the wintertime we would lift. Okay. And then we were fortunate enough, particularly toward the end of my career, to have a quote unquote weightlifting class where kids could take that as like a PE type class, okay, where we, did drills and we never touched the football, but we went to the weight room and we did plyometrics and things like that. Okay. All right. So June, I didn't want them doing anything. Hey, you're a kid, go to the pool, chase your girlfriend around, Well, Marty couldn't do that because he
good exercise.
Girlfriend. If she was chasing in and it didn't work the other way either. All right. But we would come back after the 4th of July. That was always my starting point. The first Monday after the 4th of July, we would start being in the weight room 3 days a week. All right. Like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Never went in there on a Friday because I wanted the kids, hey, you got the weekend, Friday, and the weekends off. Okay. All right. And then right before we started practice in shorts, and one thing we did later on, I got rid of the darn shorts. All right. Because I know we were supposed to wear them, but God, you'd start practice, the first 3 days in shorts. And what happens? They all got their knees all scraped up and torn up and bleeding and everything like that. So we didn't put the pads in the pants, but we got a pair of football pants on them to protect their darn knees.
What year was that?
And I don't recall, Marty. I don't really recall. Okay. And then after 3 days, but let me back up. The week before we started practice, we started having coaches meetings. I'd get all the coaches, 8th grade through varsity, in and on at night. All right. And we didn't stay there all day or anything like that, but we would talk about our offense, our defense, and we may or may not talk about our kicking game at that time, but we'd always talk about our offense and defense and decide what we were going to do. All right. And we always, on offense, we had a core number of running plays that we were going to run that season. And that was 20 running plays and 10 pass plays. Now, on those 10 pass plays, we could have various patterns out of the same backfield action, but the basic, blocking rules and what we were doing was 20 running plays, 10 pass plays, and that was it, and that was for the whole season. And we would sit down and we'd go through all those plays, we being the coaches, and make sure that we are squared away on our blocking assignments, etc., on this given play. Okay. And get ready for the season. All right. And then starting practice. When we took the field, well, before we took the field, excuse me, I take them in the classroom. First thing, and I tell them this. I tell them several things. All right. Number one, if you're going to play Spartan football, and I use that terminology a lot, Spartan football, and I got that from Vince Lombardi's books, okay? he was always referring to Packer football.
Packer football.
Thought, man, that's great. I love that. I'm gonna talk Spartan football, not Giles football, Spartan football. Okay. If you're gonna play Spartan football, you're gonna practice. That's it. That's my number one rule. There ain't gonna be none of this. Oh well, so and so. You're gonna practice. Okay. And if you don't, you're not gonna play. All right. It's just that simple. All right. Now, if something comes up that you just absolutely can't be there, like let's say there's a death in the family. Obviously, we don't want that to happen, but let's say that happens, or somebody's ill, or maybe you're ill. Okay. All right. Things like that are going to happen. But if you don't tell me, get in touch with me, all right, and tell me what's going on before it happens, that's considered an unexcused absence. And I didn't say call Coach Kelly. I said call me. Or if once school has started, you come see me. All right. Don't tell one of the other coaches to tell me. You come see me. All right. I am judge and jury. I will determine whether it's an excused absence or an unexcused absence. Now, if you get 3 unexcused absences during the course of a season, you're off the team. I'm not fooling with you. All right. 3 strikes and you're out. Okay. That was one thing I was darn determined to do before I stepped on the field. All right. Was you're going to practice. You can, I had one kid one year, and I hated to do this, but I had to. He wasn't a starter. God, he was a good kid, though. And he was there every day, and he worked his tail end off and so on. His mother, who I think she was maybe a professor or something over at Tech, but she had an opportunity to attend some conference in Hawaii. And she wanted to take her son, who I just referred to, with her. All right, great opportunity for him. I said, ma'am, I am so sorry. He is a great kid. And we love him, and you love him, okay? And I'd love for him to go to Hawaii. But if I tell him that he can go to Hawaii, then Joe Blow over here, I got to say, okay, it's okay for him to go to Myrtle Beach, and John Doe, it's okay for him to go fishing up in Canada. Now, if he goes, he can go. I mean, I can't keep him from going. But if he's gone for 3 practices, he's off the
playing
team.
Spartan football.
I'm sorry. As much as we'd love to have him. Okay. Now, there's something else I would tell them in the classroom. Here are 3 things you got to do. All right. Number 1, know what to do. Know what your blocking assignment is. Know what your responsibility and your key is on defense. Know what to do. Number 2, it's not enough just to know, well, I got to block that guy right down there, or I got deep third or something like that. You got to know how to do it. So what first? You can't do anything if you don't know what your assignment is. What first, how second. All right, how to do it. Which foot do I step with first if I'm going to pull and trap, or I'm going to block that, try to reach block this guy right over here, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Third thing, Lombardi used to have a statement. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. If you give out conditioning-wise, you are beat. And there's 2 types of conditioning: mental and physical. If you give out physically and you're just physically spent, you're going to get beat to death out there. You're just somebody's whipping boy. All right. You want to be doing the whipping, not getting the whipping. All right. So you got to be in condition. Now, I'm going to take care of that because, Rick, we had a hill back there by our practice field. Okay. And that thing is close to being perpendicular to earth, man. It's steep and it's high. I got this from my dad. I can see it now down there at Ragsdale Field in Narrows, those boys climbing that hill. Well, we climbed that hill. Okay. You got to sprint from the bottom to the top. And then you walk around to the bottom and you hit it again. And then you walk around and you hit it again. All right. And we got X number of times we're going to run it. And I'm going to tell you, that is one of the best conditioners I've ever seen. If you run laps, okay, they can cheat on laps. They can dog it a little bit. If you're running sprints, they can dog that just a little bit. But a hill, you can't do away with gravity. All right. Gravity is a law of physics. All right. To get from the bottom to the top requires you defeating gravity. All right. Now, some guys were faster. And literally, sometimes I was worried that some kid might, particularly a larger kid, might drop, and have some kind of something bad. But we kept a close eye on them, and we had water breaks throughout practice and so on. Okay. All right. But conditioning, you got to be in physical condition, but you also got to be in mental condition. All right. Football is a unique game. It's rough. All right. You got to be tough to play it. Okay. And you've got to experience that in practice. You can't just show up on Friday night and go out there and be a beast, and line up against somebody from Radford or Blacksburg or wherever and expect to give them a licking. They're going to give you one. All right. Unless you've been doing some hitting in practice. We did a lot of hitting. We hit a 7-man sled in August every single day. All right. When we drilled our offense, we would go 11 on 11, and it was dog eat dog. It was full contact, both sides of the ball, except you could not tackle my backs because we can't get them guys beat up. All right. But you come up and pop them, and in the process, you try to take the ball away from them. Okay. And we ended practice every single day with one-on-one. We lined every kid up, and I paired them up. Marty, you got so-and-so today. Joe Blow, you got your brother over there. All right. And what we did, we'd line up as far apart as 2 linemen would be in a game, an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. All right. What we called nose to nose. And I'd have one of our blocking backs who called our signals, our snap count signals, they would do the call. Okay. And on Hut, whatever we were going on, they were blocking each other. They're both playing offense. They use their right. We shoulder blocked. You didn't see us using all this hand stuff. I watched the pros on Sunday, and they're talking about how good they're blocking. I'm saying that ain't blocking. And I had a saying. I had a saying about blocking. Do you remember it, Marty?
I do not.
Here's the saying. Here's the saying. Well, Marty played defense, okay, so he didn't have to block. All right, okay. But the saying was this: bumping ain't blocking.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There's blocking, and then there's bumping. Bumping is when you go out there and you hit the guy and then turn around and watch the ball carrier. That's bumping. That ain't.
And he always did this deal. Sorry to interrupt, Coach.
And
every time he said it, he'd like poke his chest out like this. Bumping ain't blocking.
Who's that?
You.
All right. And so at the end, we always ended practice. Well, we ended practice with running that hill, but we do one-on-one, backs, linemen, everybody. And each coach, and we had at the end of my career, we had 5 coaches on the staff, and each coach would pick out 2 kids to watch. All right. And if that, and at the end of that rep, bam, they'd hit, bam. And I'd explain to them how we wanted to block and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. They'd hit. And they didn't stop. They weren't supposed to stop their feet until the whistle blew. And I'm blowing the whistle.
You're in charge of it. Yeah.
I'm in charge. Yeah. I'm a coach, trainer, official, the whole deal.
You got the whole thing.
and then after that one rep, we would ask each coach whether he was up or down. I accept that job. It may not be picture perfect from a technique point of view, but effort-wise, it's okay. If all 5 coaches voted yes, then we've got 1 down. And we'd have so many a day. And in preseason, it would be 5. We're going to go 5 with each shoulder. So that's 10 times. And I'm going to tell you, man, that is a ball buster.
It was like Lord of the Flies. That's what it was. It was a psychological experiment.
Yeah.
Coach Ragsdale really appreciates psychology. So does Coach
After you
Keller.
practiced for 2 hours up there in the hot sun, we're going to finish with one-on-one. And by the way, then we're going up to the hill. Okay. And we had one coach, man, where all 4 coaches would vote yes. And so many times he'd say, no, I'm not taking my, and that would make the kids so mad. Dude, I mean, they'd be cussing.
Irate, livid, and we couldn't do anything about it except for line her right back up again.
But you know what that did? That taught them contact. That taught them contact. It taught them what hitting feels like, you know, and they got to learn that. So 3 things: know what you're supposed to do, know how you're supposed to do it, and be physically and mentally conditioned and tough so you can do it. All right, boys, hit the field. Let's go get started. Now, let me say real quick here. After the first 5 days, okay, you got 5 days there where you're not supposed to hit. And we followed that rule, okay? But after the first 5 days, my goal was to have a team that could go out that night and play a game. Offense, defense, kicking game, the entire thing. That we would have every play that we were going to run for the whole year put in that first 5 days. Remember I said 20 running plays? We'd put in 5 plays a day. Okay. And then, wait a minute. No. 4 5s would be 20. We would put in 4 plays a day. All right. And then the 5th, so we'd have all of our plays in. And plus we would have in against different defenses, different looks on defense. And on defense, same way. We'd have every defense we had in, and different coverages. We didn't have a lot of different coverages, but we had some. We could play zone, we could play man if we needed to. In fact, we won a big game down at Hayside where I think Marty intercepted a pass maybe, where we were playing, I mean, in a monsoon. That's the worst conditions I've ever seen. And they blocked a punt down on our 10-yard line, and we had to keep them out of the end zone to win the game because we scored in the early on our first possession, and that was it. We couldn't score the rest of the game, and they hadn't scored. And we'd been playing our normal zone defense the whole game, and I think maybe third down, and I was expecting, okay, they had a play that everybody's got where they fake like a off tackle, sprint draw or something like that, and run the fullback out in the flat and hit him. And I called man-to-man defense, and I'm holding my breath that somebody doesn't blow the coverage. Because what happens a lot, particularly with high school kids, if you've been playing zone the whole time and then all of a sudden you call man-to-man, half of them are playing zone, half of them are playing man-to-man. By gosh, we picked them up, every one, picked them up man-to-man. And they were looking for that fullback out in the flat, and our linebacker had picked him up and knocked the ball down, I think, or something. I can't remember. I'm thinking you intercepted a pass there, Marty, maybe.
I did, yeah. They ran sort of a seam route. They had a really tall wide receiver, kind of tight end hybrid, number 80. And Jason Compton was their quarterback. And they tried to run that big number 80 down the seam. And they threw it to him, and it kind of bounced off of him, and I snagged it out of the air.
Yeah. So anyway, that was our beginning, what we did, the first week of practice and so on. And I'm going to tell you, we practiced hard, and I had a lot of respect for those kids, and particularly ones that, didn't get a lot of playing time. But they were out there, by gosh, busting their tail end. I had one like that. Listen to this story. I may have told you all this once before, and if I have, tell me to shut up, okay? But I had somebody knocked on my front door one day back in the spring, and I went to the front door, and there's this big kid standing there. Well, to make a long story short, he was a great kid. He never missed a practice, and he busted his tail. But he just didn't have that much talent, okay? And he didn't get to play a whole lot. But he never quit, and he was there. Here was the most impressive thing. He was thanking me for working with him and helping him. I said, son, you did a whole lot more for me than I did for you. I'm telling you that right now. And I tell you, he's retired now from I think it's the Army. But you know what his job was in the Army? He went down in these tunnels and silos and things like that where we got these ICBM missiles targeting, somewhere in Russia or somewhere in China and so on. And he worked on those rockets. He was a rocket mechanic.
Amazing.
All right. And I said, my gosh, that's impressive. That's beyond impressive. And so, God, when you got kids like that you're working with, you're just happy. That's all.
You're just happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely learned so much playing for you and for Coach Kelly and Coach Williams and Coach Lee and my generation of guys, that coaching staff. You look back on it and you realize readily how the daily operational procedure of that football program and y'all's leadership and your approach to leadership and approach to preparation, we knew how to work. And in today's world, if you just know how to work, if you're just willing to work, if you're willing to have the effort and show up every day, you're 90% of the way ahead of your peers. And we all had that under the guise of fun and won a lot of football games and had a lot of fun en route. But, I mean, I've said it a million times. Yes, a lot of us played basketball. Yes, a lot of us played baseball. A lot of guys ran track. There were other activities. There were other sports. But football is an understanding. It's an expectation. It's a religious experience in our town. At least it was when I was 16 years old. And that is because you built a tradition that galvanized an entire community and gave an entire community identity, which is like you think about that. You think about that on a bigger point. You were out there coaching us how to do this technique or that technique or read that key or whatever. But there were people that showed up on Friday afternoon. Forget Friday night. They showed up on Friday afternoon for a dadgum pep rally at 2:30 in the afternoon to hear Coach Ragsdale speak in the gym. And then they would just go to the field and camp out and wait for us to run out 3.5 hours later.
Hey, Marty, let me tell you something. That type of thing, what you're talking about is an understanding that in the community that you're going to play Spartan football.
Yeah.
And any successful program and in any sport has that. You got to have that. You got to have community support. And you got to work at that too. It doesn't just happen. You got to work at it. Now, when I first started, we had a guy by the name of Vic Edwards. And Vic was constantly coming up with ideas. Well, let's do this. Let's do that to build interest. And I've already talked about talking to kids in the hallway that Coach Williams and Coach Kelly had given me a list that they thought, hey, this kid can play ball for us and help us. And I would make sure to talk to them. But hey, they go down on the street corner. Somebody else is saying something to them. Hey, man, you going to play football this year or something like that. And all successful programs in any particular sport, they've got that going on. But it's something that's got to be constantly fueled. It's just like your, car. You got to constantly be putting gas in it to keep that going. You can't just lay back and say, oh man, we got it going now. That's
winning is rocket fuel.
Right. Exactly. That's the rocket fuel, and the experience, the spirit, we had just like that spirit, you come out there on that field on Friday night and you got a full house and everything, man, that sends chills up your spine, and you don't get it any other way.
Yeah, no.
Even when
you never get it again.
Misses you don't get that.
You don't get it again.
So anyway, by the way, if y'all are going to ask me something, you got to ask it in 5 minutes.
You got to go, don't you, Coach? I know.
Roanoke for a treatment at 10:15, I think it is today.
Let's finish up on this then. Like, how long is your treatment plan?
It's 28 sessions of getting radiation. All right. I've had 7 so far. I'm 1/4 of the way through it.
Oh, good.
Now, I also with mine, the doctor and the doctors that do this are called radiology oncologists. Oncologists are doctors who are specialists in cancer, treating cancer. But radiology oncologists are another step to that. And that is they're dealing with these machines, the radiation that delivers the treatment. Okay. So they take before I even started the treatments, I had to go down and do one session that took about 15 minutes where they take measurements, and I've got 3 tattoos, one on each hip and one on my lower abdomen. That's about the size of a eraser on a pencil, and it's a tattoo. It's permanent. It'll be there the rest of my life. But that helps them somehow. I don't know how, but helps them. They put that on there the first day, and that helps them get me lined up so the radiation can be delivered properly. And the doctor is constantly monitoring this, and you go in the room where they can't stay in there where that machine is. They gotta, because they don't want to be getting radiation themselves. So they go in a control room, and you walk through that control room, and there's TV screens and computers everywhere that are just all lit up. All right. So they're monitoring all this stuff, and the doctor meets with you once a week. I met with him yesterday. All right. So I'll be doing this 5 days a week. We take weekends off until the early September. I'm 1/4 of the way through the process.
All right, good.
But then I'll I'm taking right now, doing hormone therapy. And that's by pill. I take 1 pill a day, and the doctor described this as that pill kind of sets, it's kind of like a double team block. That pill sets up that cancer cell for that radiation to kill it. All right. And then I'll be probably continuing that for maybe 3 or 4 months after the radiation treatment stop. And he described that to me yesterday as if there's any, cells kind of hanging around that are, have been damaged by the radiation, then the hormone pills and therapy will finish them off. So it's kind of a dual type of treatment. And one
no
more
bumping, just blocking.
Right.
No bumping with those pills.
There you go. This ain't bumping, it's blocking. You ready to go?
All right, Coach.
Double team partner is over here in the door. He's telling me, get off your rear end and get going. We got to get down there. So, gentlemen, excuse my talking so much, but there was one thing I wanted to do today was get the message across. Hey, get these preliminary tests. Don't be afraid of them, whether it be for cancer or whatever. Okay. Good day,
Coach.
gentlemen. I'm gonna hit
safe travels.
Be careful, Coach.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Hey,
thanks for having us.
I've really enjoyed.
We'll see you, man.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week. Coach, be safe. Praying for you, man.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you.
All right, guys. All right, man. Take care. Thanks, Mark Dog. Appreciate you, man.
Always. Love y'all.
All right. Love you, man. Stay safe. Stay safe, everybody. All right. Great stuff, as always. Very important message. And you're right, Chris. It all went back to football every time with Coach. He liked my no bumping comment there. Damien's sort of led here to finish up here on a Wednesday. Great to have Coach and Marty. Coach, I've known about this for a couple of months, and Coach asked me not to talk about it, bring it up, so I did not. And he wanted to address it here on the show, so that's what we did. Whatever Coach wanted, that's what we did. All right, so very important comments indeed. And Coach is in great spirits, and he's telling me everything. He just told us everything is looking great, feeling great. So it's awesome news. Awesome news for Coach. And you're right. I just love the fact that he went back to football. He went right back to football. And I agree, Jason. Yeah. That cancer doesn't know what it's messing with that guy. Without question. But we appreciate Coach and for sharing that important message here today. Family Fencing sponsor of our studios while we wait for Damien, 540-200-8294. sponsor of our studio here for the second straight year coming up. We're very excited about that. Mark Hunley, sponsor of our chat room, McClellan Chiropractic, 155 Walters Drive over in Christiansburg. The video we took has gotten over 750 rewatches, which is really cool. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Thanks so much to Jonathan Sweet and to Tim Miller. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Give them a call. Check on your air units and soon your heat units, 540-553-2971. The attorney Ryan Pryor, our BDST fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Reach out to Ryan if you have any questions about your trust or estate. National Bank, member FDIC, exclusive banking partner of yours truly and this program, and they will be back as our exclusive banking partner, thanks to Larry Ramsey. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams up in Dublin. Reach out, 674-0008, 40 years in business, the best in commercial or residential garage doors, thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. The NRV Super Bowl, who sponsored our bash, which was awesome. A couple weeks ago. Leagues are forming now. The Smith Brothers at Sundown Electric, 5-star reviews all the way around, and we'll have a way for you to get their T-shirts. People have been asking about those. And the Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com, BobChrist11@gmail. Thanks for all their support. Your group of text messages can help raise teams' money in a heartbeat. And we are just glad to see Damian Sordelette again. It's been a while. I haven't shared your journey too much, but you've been through it, my friend, the last few weeks, haven't you?
Just random stuff out of the blue. Now I know what a kidney stone feels like, and now I know what a tooth abscess feels like. So
you had it back-to-back weeks, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I passed the kidney stone 2 Wednesdays ago, and then the tooth abscess formed 2 days later. So had to get a tooth removed, and luckily it's back here, so no one can see it.
But you're all good now? Everything feeling better? You good?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
They prescribed me some good stuff, so.
Hey, there you go. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through all that, but it's good to have you back on the program, and thanks for moving to an hour, because with Marty and Rags, it has to be that second hour, and they, Coach Ragsdale holding court there. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Football practice. Are you excited? By the way, I explained the schedule. I saw the media schedule. I know Andy was waiting on it. I think they sent it out last Friday. Was it favorable for you guys in your coverage, or how did it look? What did you think?
We have access to fewer practices than we did last training camp. So last year. So we are going to go essentially once a week.
Okay. Not ideal, but better, right?
Well, it's fewer opportunities than we had last year. So it's a little bit worse. I mean, ideally, I'd like to go out twice a week if we could do that. But again, it's the James Franklin era. So he probably wants to limit how much we see. So yeah, and then media day is on Sunday, so different than years past where it was during the week. So the practice schedule is different, so be interested to see how it goes and what we get to see. Probably won't be as much as probably as little as we got to see during the spring. So got to take advantage of every opportunity we're out there to see what's going on and assess any position battles. If we don't get to see any live periods, we're not going to know who's trending in the right direction. So hopefully we get to see a few things.
Will you have a chance to at least talk to players and coaches at media day, or is that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's the same format. You get Franklin for 30 minutes. You get the coordinators for 10 minutes each, and then you get the offensive and players and the special teams players for 25 minutes, and then the defensive players for 25 minutes. So you got to try to get as many guys as you can in that time frame.
I've had some people ask, and I don't know if they talk to you guys, is there going to be a certain policy on injuries when things happen? Or is that just going to be kept out of the news entirely?
Franklin told us before spring, he gathered us in there. The one thing he doesn't talk about are injuries.
Okay, so we're never really going to know. Okay.
No, I mean, Pry is a little bit more forthcoming. He's the one who told us in the summer, like Emmett Laws's injury was a little bit more concerning. He told us Jaquez White's probably going to be 100% when it comes to the first game. So
yeah.
Pry is a little bit more forthcoming with that, and he probably will be when, if we have to ask him some questions. But Franklin said he doesn't talk about injuries. You can see Ricky Ronnie at Old Dominion has the same philosophy where it's like he doesn't want to tell us injuries because at that point, if someone's coming back from an injury and they know what they're coming back from, what do you think is going to be targeted? The ligament, the appendage, whatever they're coming back from injury from, people are going to target that. So I think James Franklin has the same philosophy. Hey, I'm not going to reveal what they're coming back from because I don't want people to target, a leg and shoulder and elbow.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I get it, but it's going to be it sounds like it's going to be a frustrating coverage time for you guys too, in a lot of ways.
Well, if they win, that's not a problem. But yeah, if we'd like to know, hey, how's this guy progressing? Hopefully he'll be like, oh yeah, he's coming along, something like that. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're going to have to kind of construct the things that you focus on, right? Because you're not going to have a chance to find out about stuff very much from everybody else. So how do you guys feel? What do you feel like going into camp that you hope to get out of the first couple of weeks in terms of information and so forth? What kind of things are you looking for from the team in terms of development and things?
Yeah, a lot of positional battles. How long are they going to wait till they announce who QB1 is? I mean, that's sort of the worst kept secret. Like, it's going to be Ethan Grunkemeyer. But how long until they announce it? How long do they want that battle to keep going on? I'd like to know what the offensive line looks like because Matt Moore said we got 10 to 12 guys. Well, who's going to emerge? I'd like to see who's emerging. Besides Kyle Tuner at center, is Logan Hallen looking as good as advertised at left tackle? Is Johnny Garrett progressing at guard where you can move Montavious Cunningham to tackle and then, have Garrett slide in at guard? Is Brody Meadows looking like he did pre-injury? Like those are the sort of things I'd like to know and like to be able to see with my own eyes. But also feels kind of like last year where they were very secretive about everything because they wanted to keep CMC's defense under wraps. So that way not a lot's getting leaked out before the opener against South Carolina. So I'm kind of getting a rinse and repeat feel from that they're going to purposely keep us in the dark about some things until the game. So that way we're not revealing too much. But again, I'd like to at least see positional battles. Who's doing what? I like to see if Jaquez Weiss is healthy. Is Josh Clark cornerback 2? Or are they looking at Isaiah Brown Murray there, or are they moving him to nickel? Those types of things that, I'd like to see. Like, how are they using Knowledge Harrell at safety? Since Anthony Midget brought him up as the number 2 safety that he talked about after Quentin Reddish in the summer. So those are some of the things I'd like to see.
Well, and again, it's good luck, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what it's going to be. It's going to be good luck.
Yeah.
I get some coaches are very tight about that kind of thing. Some coaches just roll it out there and they're like, hey, here's who we are. Come beat us, come stop us, But and I'm guessing what they show for VMI probably won't be much in terms they probably won't have to. So it's going to change week to week anyway with the opponent and the matchups. But I got a feeling it's going to be very vanilla. Kind of like a preseason NFL game we're going to watch Thursday night in the Hall of Fame game, probably. It'll be very vanilla.
What Virginia Tech Open is, a 51.5 point favorite according to some lines.
I saw, somebody else posted that. I had not seen it. They said it was 51.5. Yeah.
Yeah, and if if they cover the spread,
Yeah.
Bryce Baker, you'll play multiple quarterbacks in that game. And I'm assuming the plan is you're going to play multiple quarterbacks in the first 2 games. You just have to be comfortably ahead of ODU in the second half in order for that to happen. But you should get 2 to 3 quarterbacks deep in that opener against VMI, and hopefully you get to your second string against ODU if everything goes according to plan. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm more looking forward to the games now that they're 31 days out.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I'm also interested today. I think the AP poll comes out today. I'm interested to see if Virginia Tech has any votes like they did in the coaches poll.
We had the coaches poll.
Disclaimer: I'm not an AP voter this year. Lee Enterprises, company I work for, ended their contract with the AP because of the wire services and went with someone else. And then the AP's like, well, every voter who's with Lee Enterprises, you're not voting anymore. So
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have any insight to give you in terms of how I'm voting for that or this or that and nationally. So, but I do have my Heisman Trophy vote. So interesting to see how that works out.
That's ridiculous, man. Well, you know what? We can still get your vote. Your vote's going to be more accurate than any of these other bozos. I'd still rather hear how you would have voted anyway, right? I mean, come on. That's just stupid. But anyway.
I'd have something like Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Texas in my top 4.
Yeah. Similar to the coaches poll. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be really drastic, but it does come out today. And
I wouldn't have voted for Virginia Tech until I saw something. I made the mistake in 2024 of putting them at like 22 or something like that in the preseason poll. And, I would have kept them in there if they held on and beaten Vanderbilt. But, that Vanderbilt game was a sign of things to come in terms of holding on in the fourth quarter, and especially after the 2-minute timeout. But, if I was voting, I would be like, hey, I kind of want to see something. So, yeah.
Well, it was interesting, too. I was surprised to see the 2 things that surprised me in the coaches poll, Penn State being as high as they were, 17, and then Clemson popping up in there. Yeah. Is that just reputation of a program at that point from the coaches poll, right? I mean, I don't know. They don't seem like they have enough to warrant being pre-ranked like that going into this season.
It's a lot of guessing games.
It is.
I think Rhett Lashley was right. Like, hey, we haven't played anyone. That's tough because I don't know if I'd have Penn State ranked. I'd have SMU ranked ahead of Clemson. I think SMU's warranted to be ranked. It's really tough. I mean, last year was especially tough because you had the spring portal window, and there's so many changes. It's like, well, what are these teams going to look like? And Chris is right. I mean, Penn State's schedule is Charmin soft, and
that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
But same with Indiana. I mean, the Big Ten isn't required to play a 10th Power 4 opponent. I think only the SEC and the ACC are the only 2 leagues that have that, and I think the Big 12 encourages them to play a 10th Power 4. But beyond that, I mean, why did Indiana cancel its Notre Dame series? They want to have a schedule that is conducive to winning 3 non-conference games and putting yourself in the best position. I mean, we saw what happened with Penn State last year. They played Nevada, FIU, and Villanova in the non-conference, then couldn't pull it out against Oregon, and then, we know what happened.
We all know what happened.
UCLA,
that's right.
Northwestern,
and that's when it all turned. That's when it all turned, because that UCLA team was awful, just awful.
But just to give you an idea, that's going to be somewhat of what Virginia Tech's schedule is going to look like outside of the 10th Power 4 game. You're not going to get another Power 4 opponent. James Franklin, during his time at Vandy and Penn State, didn't play more than 10 Power 4 opponents in a season. And last year was the first time since the Big 10 went to 9 league games that they didn't play a 10th Power 4 opponent. So, they're probably going to go with, like we see for next year with the Citadel and Liberty. You're probably going to get another FCS team in Liberty in 28. That's how they're going to do it. That's what the schedule is going to look like. I think they want to try to maximize home games, especially in the years that you have 4 league games. You got to go on the road 5 times. You're going to try to maximize the home games. And the only way to do that is to get the Charmin out.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I guess with the playoff expanding, maybe it doesn't hurt you as much. It doesn't help you on the field a whole lot. Fans, I don't think deserve that, to be honest. I think fans want to see good games. I hate that mindset. But I guess that Tech's not the only one. Look at Indiana. Look what their schedule looks like here in the next 2 or 3 years. Right under Signetti, he's brought out the Charmin big time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess. Do you just feel like you're getting that tested in conference play, or is it just like this factor of you just don't want to? You're a fear factor. You don't want to risk it against another program like that. I don't know.
Indiana had that, like, besides Old Dominion in week 1, which turned out to be a pretty good game in terms of resume building for Indiana. I mean, they didn't play any other power conference opponents, and look where it got them. If Indiana can do it, other teams are going to do it. And if you're not required to play a 10th power conference game, you're going to schedule lighter, because Indiana has showed the blueprint for how it's done. But of course, you got to win your league games. Omar Cooper's catch in the back of the end zone against Penn State saved Indiana's season. Because if they lose that game, I don't know what the rest of the season looks like for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to start scheduling somewhat softer. You want to put it in a position where you're undefeated going into league play. Well, in the ACC case, the years you have Notre Dame, you want to try to be, again, undefeated going into league play and then playing your best. So that way, when you get Notre Dame in November, you're not looking at it as, oh, hey, we're going out of league. We're playing a league opponent. That's how you kind of have to view Notre Dame. So, that's just the way you got to go. And it'll be interesting to see how this year unfolds with that mindset, because this will be interesting to see how they do it and see if it's a feasible plan moving forward.
Feels like you can get away with that easier in the Big Ten or the SEC as opposed to the ACC, given the conference strength or whatever, or the reputation, I guess, amongst the people who make playoff decisions and so forth.
Though Miami did help.
I don't know.
With that last year.
Yeah.
Making that run. Yeah.
They did. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I know next year it's Citadel and Liberty first two right off the bat. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, and then Notre Dame late in November.
Yeah.
And that's also
then that's the rotational part. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also next year's also the year you have 5 league games at home. So if you have those 2 games at the beginning of the season at home, you have a 7-game home schedule. And that's what Brian White said he wants. He wants at least 7 games at home. There might be a year like, say, 29. I don't want to look too far down the line, but you have Maryland at home. If you can, you're probably getting Arizona off the schedule. So if you can get, the G5 and a FCS at home, plus your 5 league games at home. Now you have an 8-game schedule at home. From a fan standpoint, that's more opportunities to go to games. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for, your gates. You're looking for, hopefully, like Brian White said, that they have a backlog for premium seating. Maybe by that time, Lane Stadium's gotten an upgrade and there's more premium seating, and you're looking for ways to generate money. And that seems what Brian White has put together his staff for, is to generate money. especially in this day and age. So, yeah, you gotta have home games to generate money and revenue. So that's the blueprint they're following. Just get more home games, not really caring who's against. Hopefully the years like Notre Dame in 28, Maryland in 29, when they're at home, you kind of maximize those. So be interested to see how things play out in the future. But short term, it's going to be your 3 non-conference games, your power conference, however that falls, and then your other 2 games are going to be at home against either G6 and FCS or 2 G6s. So
yeah. Well, we'll see how that philosophy holds. I'm curious to how it's going to hold in Blacksburg and in Indiana. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how these teams, I think playing better people make you better when it counts the most. Maybe that's what's prevented James Franklin from breaking through as at Penn State. You know, he's what do they call him? Big game James. Look at the record and look at the record against the top-notch teams. I mean, is that because he's worked too hard to protect his teams, and when they get in those situations, they're not ready? I mean, I think it has to be considered. I'm not saying that verbatim, you know. It may not be the absolute, but it might be, you know, remember Rocky 3, right? You know, he defended his title, 10 times, but he asked for Mick. He goes, "Were those setups?" He goes, "No, those were real fights." "Yeah, but I didn't get better," right? So Clubber Lang knocked him in the next week. I'm just saying, maybe there's a correlation there.
Yeah. And then, you know, when Franklin was scheduling at Penn State, the 10th non-conference, the 10th Power 4 game, it was either Pitt, West Virginia, which were regional, and then they had a series against Auburn. So I understand the regional thing with Pitt and West Virginia. That made sense. And then Auburn for a couple years, that was tricky because when they got them, they weren't really doing great. And that's the thing Franklin mentioned to us in Charlotte was it's difficult to plan years in advance of how good are these teams going to be. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I think too, you're asking donors and fans to give so much more money. Most fans are going to tell you they want to see good football games. They want to see quality opponents. That's not feeding the customer the product. I mean, I know you're going to get a nice 7-touchdown win, but it doesn't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean anything to voters. Doesn't mean anything to your playoff chances, and it certainly doesn't mean anything improving your football team or your fan. I don't know. I don't like it. Not that many. I understand maybe 1 or 2, but what Indiana's doing seems weak to me, and I don't like the philosophy that James Franklin brings with his scheduling at all. But.
Right. And I would say Ryan's right. Penn State and Virginia Tech were supposed to play.
Yeah. They were.
That's something I hope to see on the schedule and down the line. I mean, who knows if they get that schedule for 20, 30, I'm trying to remember. I think it might be 31 and 32 that they might have a chance to get some games in there. I would be for it, but who knows if James Franklin's still going to be here? As we've talked about, who knows how long he's here for. So, but yeah, Penn State makes sense. I hope Tennessee gets on the schedule. I want to do a home and home. Let's don't do Bristol. Let's get the game in Blacksburg.
Yeah, play in the stadiums. Play in the stadiums.
And then I'm all for I'm all for the Black Diamond Trophy series getting renewed on a more consistent basis.
I know.
See, that would be a good rotation if you could get Tennessee, West Virginia, and Penn State and just rotate them. I'm good with that. And then
I agree. It sends a message to your customer you don't care what they want, because both of those fan bases, West Virginia and Virginia Tech, want to play every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. Now, the Wisconsin series is going to happen because of moving the game in Blacksburg to Charlotte. If I'm Brian White, I will pay the $1 million to get that move back to Blacksburg because I think that would be a better atmosphere for that game. But
no question.
He seems resigned to be having it played in Charlotte and hoping they get hoping with tickets sold and everything like that, they get the $5 million payout. that would come to Virginia Tech for moving that game there.
Yeah.
Again, I don't agree with that. It's not. It's on a Saturday. It's not a standalone game. Again, when Witt put that together, I kind of looked at it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
So.
Yeah. Well, just another one of those decisions you don't have to worry about anymore.
And I thought, you'd have the return game at Lambeau if you're moving the game in Blacksburg to Charlotte, but no, they're going to play it at Camp Randall, which I'm excited. That's a game, I got to think of 2032 to look at that, to go there, but still a ways away.
It is. Things can change. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it seems like that's going to be, like Brian said, that series is staying because of moving the one game to Charlotte. But it seems like everything else, like Ole Miss, Alabama, those two series might be discussed, but I would keep those if I could.
Yeah.
I think one of the Ole Miss games you need to move because it's the same year as a Notre Dame game. Again, that's if they do. Again, that's if they want to stick to 10 Power 4 games a year. Or if they think they're good enough, do 11. I mean, I'm all for it, but so.
Yeah, no. Well, we shall see. What time does the AP poll come out today? Do you know? A little bit later this morning?
I think it's noonish.
Noonish,
when
okay.
They typically come out. Yeah, because normally I'd have to have that in. Well, the preseason poll, you had to have that in by late July.
Okay.
Right around the end of media days. And then it would come out midday. So yeah, it comes out right, same week as the coaches poll. So
okay, yeah.
Again, I'm not really in the loop with in terms of when all that's coming out since I'm not a voter.
Well, that's true. Yeah, God forbid they let you still vote. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have people who work for organizations that don't have AP as wire service, and they're having them vote. When I'm like, all right, it gives me 4 to 5 hours a week back.
True.
Instead of having to go through and like, all right, how did this team do? I'm still going to watch plenty of college football. I mean,
exactly. You're still going to know what's going on, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back, my friend. I'm so glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
So glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I was feeling better. I mean, my 6-month dentist appointment's later this month. So, I mean, having a tooth thing happen during the thing, it's like, all right, anything can happen. And especially when you're on appointments and keeping things taken care of. So,
yeah, right.
When root canals fail, that's Yeah,
that's never a good sign. Yeah, that's always an ouchie. Well, good luck in trying to obtain information, man, and have a great rest of the week. And we'll talk to you next week. Regular time. We'll have you back there. All right, brother. Stay safe, man. There you go.
You too.
Good to have Damian Sorlett back. Glad he's feeling better. Great stuff today. Thanks to Keon Brown, Coach Rags. Thanks to Marty Smith and to Damian. Thanks to everybody on the in the chat. Thanks to everybody on the text line. Don't forget our BDST Ryan Pry, the attorney, fan question of the week. Who's going to play in the Natty? We'll get into more of this discussion tomorrow. Tech fan, do you like the dumbed down schedule that we just, you're having to get used to? Do you like to just pile up wins against opponents that don't matter? Or would you rather see your program go out there and be tested? I used to get in this conversation a lot with Jim Weaver. We had some great discussions back in the day. Imagine that. The AD at Virginia Tech used to come on my show every week. Huh. And the head coach who's in the Hall of Fame every 2 weeks. All right. Sorry. Everybody enjoy the rest of your hump day. We'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick, but leading us off, the great David Smith, get us primed and ready for some NFL stuff. Everybody take care. We will see you